We are learning Yoma Daf Mem Zayin Amid Beis. We've been talking about Kemitza. We're talking about the Keteris and Chafina, which is necessary to be done to get the Keteris into the kaf, into the spoon. And we segued into the Keteris, into talking about the Mincha and the Kemitza, because we may have Gzeira Shava Male Male to learn one from the other. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the Mincha. When you brought a carbon mincha, so let's say you're bringing a minchas selis, so it was flour and oil and some levaina. So the kohen would take from the mincha a kemitza, which was a fistful of that mixture, and that would go onto the mizbeach. That everything else was called shirayim, and the kohen would eat it. So shirayim are the leftovers, things that were not part of the kemitza. Okay, let's see a teaching of Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan, 5 lines down, Mev Zayin Rabbi Beis. Boi Rabbi Yeshua ben Uzzah. Rabbi Yochanan says over that Rabbi Yeshua ben Uzzah had a shayla. He wanted to know bein habeinim shel mali kumtzei. When you took a fistful of a mincha and you had some left, bein habeinim means between the fingers, in between your fingers. So, what halacha does that have? Does that have a halacha of the kaimitz, and it needs to be brought onto the mizbeach, or does it have a din of shirayim and the leftovers that cannot be brought onto the mizbeach? So that was his shayla. What's the halacha? Amar Papa, the gavoy, anything that's on the inside, like the bailacha, that's pasha devadai kaimitz. That's for sure the kaimitz. The baroi, anything that's on the outside of his finger is going to be that's for sure shirayim. The shayla is what's mamish in between the fingers that's not on the inside, not on the outside. What halacha does that have? So the Gemara says, Mai. I'm Rabbi Yochanan. So Rabbi Yochanan said, Hader Pashtua. Rabbi Yeshua ben Uzzah, or Rabbi Yeshua Uzzah, he went and he actually resolved the question, and he says, Bein habeinim safek ninu. Between the fingers is a suffix. What do you mean it's a suffix? That was the shayla. What did you resolve exactly? Fraktesis, top of the page. Lo yadana my kamar hader pashtua hameikar nami ki havim mibayle suffiku. When you ask the question, it was a suffix. So what are you resolving by saying it's a suffix? And for tesis, v'shemi yoshloima. Perhaps you'll say the meikar misafka v'havasaka daita lemifshad. Hai bechal kaimitzu oy bechal shirayim. He originally thought that we'd be able to actually answer the question. V'hadar pasha desaviku ve'enei bal lachzer v'lifshet habaya ivadei kaimitz ivadei shirayim el bevadei saviku ve'en adam yochel la'il lamed alav. He originally thought that maybe there's a way to be pashat the shayla, and he said, no, this is just a suffix. There's no way to be pashat this question. That's his first pshat. Then he gives another pshat. Okay, take a look. So, it's a suffix. So what in the world are you supposed to do when you have something which is a suffix shirayim, suffix kaimitz? So Amrav Chanina, Maktir kaimitz l'chudei tchila. So what are the options? Maktir kaimitz l'chudei tchila. If you want to be maktir the kaimitz, v'hadir bein habinim, and then you'll be maktir the bein habinim. Okay. The amrit bein habinim bereisha. So he's saying that's what you should do. You should first be maktir the kaimitz and then be maktir the bein habinim. That was the whatever flour was stuck in between your fingers. The amrit bein habinim bereisha, because if you're going to do the bein habinim first, that's a problem. Because zilma shirayim ninu on the tzad that it's shirayim v'havlu shirayim shechasru bein kamitza v'haktara. Now, if you have shirayim and some of it goes missing or all of it goes missing before you're makti, before you burn the kemitza, so the halacha is Amar Mar shirayim shechasru bein kemitza laktara. If shirayim that are lost between or gone missing or burnt between the kemitza and the aktara, ein maktir alei, and it's the kemitz, you can't burn the kemitz. So if this bein habeinim is really shirayim and you just burned it on the mizbeach, well, now you on the side that it's shirayim, the shirayim is missing something, and now I can't bring the kaimitz. Okay, so that's a halacha that in order to be maktir the kaimitz, the part that you took off that you're going to put on the mizbeach, you have to have whatever was remaining has to be fully intact. If anything's missing, you can't bring the kamitz. You can't bring the kaimitz. So on the tzad that this bein habeinim is the shirayim, so then you can't bring the kaimitz. So therefore we said what? So bring the kamitza first, and then be makriv the bein habeinim. Says the Gemara, Ihachi hashanami ikri kan kol shemimenu liishim harehu bibal taktiru. We have another problem. That is that once you are makriv the kaimitz, you can't bring shirayim. You can't burn the shirayim on the mizbeach on the tzad that is shirayim. So on the tzad that is shirayim, you can't bring it first, and you can't bring it second. So what do you do? Am Rabbi Yehuda Brei de Reb Shimon ben Pazi de makdele l'shum eitzim ki Rabbi Eliezer. He says, you should bring it with a tenai. Be maybe like this on the tzad that it's a kaimitz, so I'm bringing it as part of the kaimitz. On the tzad that it's shirayim, I'm bringing it as wood. I mean, I'm bringing it as fuel for the fire. Am Rabbi Yehuda Brei de Reb Shimon ben Pazi de makdele l'shum eitzim ki Rabbi Eliezer da Tanya Rabbi Eliezer Omer l'reyach nichoyach I atamayla. You can't bring it as a reich nichoyach, as a carbon. Aval atamayla l'shum eitzim, but you're allowed to bring it for fuel. Says the Gemara, Hanicha, that's very good, Rabbi Eliezer. That's fine according to Rabbi Eliezer. But according to the Rabbanon, ma'ikal ameimar. Now what are you going to do? What's this machlekes? Take a look at Rashi. Rabbi Eliezer. The polug b'masach l'zvachim. There's a machlekes in zvachim. Be'ivori chatas shehein shirayim. If you have the limbs of a chatas that are like the shirayim, because once you brought the emurim that needed to be brought onto the mizbeach, so the rest of it is like the shirayim. Now, evari oila are meant to be burnt completely. So now what are you supposed to do? So Rabbi Eliezer Omer, yiten hakol lamala, put the whole thing on the mizbeach. And I'll look at the basar chatas, the ivarim of the chatas, as if they're just fuel. The so it says you can't bring it up as a carbon, but you can bring it up as firewood. Okay, so that's fine according to Rabbi Eliezer. But according to the Chacham who argue and say you can't do that, so now what are you going to do? So now we're stuck. Again, so with these bein habeinim, which are Safek Seilis, Safek Kamitza, Safek Shirayim, we're really stuck. We don't know what to do with them. Says the Gemara. Again, so according to Rabbi Eliezer, you could bring it up b'tnai. You could say on the tzad that it's a kamitza, it's the kamitza. On the tzad that it's shirayim, it's for fuel. But according to the Rabbanon, what are you going to do? Make lemar amrav meri de kamtzi shmeini. Shmeini means a shamein, a fat kain. You had a fat kain do the kamitza, because if he's fat and his fingers are large, so there's no space in between the fingers. So that's a good sign, I'm still skinny. But if there's no space in between your fingers, so then you don't have a problem of the beini bini. So that was a advantage. So once you say this, Rabbi Eliezer would agree that I'd rather, instead of using a tanai, we'd rather you lechatchila have a kayin who does not have spaces in between his fingers do the kamitza. Okay, now the Gemara's got a bunch of sveikas. Bein habeinim pashat umachatz upazar v'chashav bechafnes chaveiroi simin. By Rapapa. First shayla. Rapapa shayla is like this. Bein habeinim shel mali chafnav. Until now we spoke about bein habeinim of a kamitza, of a mincha. What about the bein habeinim on Yom Kippur of the Kohen Gadol? You can't just say get a fat Kohen because maybe the Kohen Gadol was skinny or he had space in between his fingers. So that's a shayla. So bein habeinim shamali chafnav mahu. What is the halacha? My kami baile. Well, what's your shayla? Igamar male male. If you learn the gzera shava male male malay chafnav and malay kumtzai from a mincha, the kaimitz of a mincha, so mehasam haynu hach. So that would be the same shayla. Whatever you had the shaila by the Bein Beinim, you have a problem with them, you can have the same problem with the Malchavnav of the Kohen Gadol on Yom Kippur. Samar says, Rav Papa Hachi Baila. This was Rav Papa Shaila. Mali Chavnav v'hevi ba'inan v'ha'ika oidilma v'lakach v'hevi ba'inan v'ha'leka. So, what was the Shaila? Without the Gzeira Shava of Mali Mali, there's a Shaila. Okay, let's take a look at the Rashi. Inami Mali Mali, Igamar Mali Mali, if you learn the Gzeira Shava of Mali Mali, Ma Kaimitz Birutze Ene Niktar, Av Chafina Birutze Pesulin. So we learned that the Gzeira Shava told you that just like the Kmitza, you can't have anything sticking out. The same thing applies to the Malei Chafnav of the Kohen Gadol. So Hainu Hach. Hainu Hach to be Nalel. This is the Shaila we had before. Mao Shiyasa Mida Lechafina. Here he's saying like this. The Shaila is, remember we had a Shaila, are you allowed to make a measuring cup for the Chafina, for your Malei Chafnav, for your palm handful? Tahani travayu chodataimu, because it's really the same issue. The birutzin umida lekaimitz mikimutzei nafkalan. The issue that you can't have a measuring cup is learned out from the word bekumtzei. It's got to be with its fist. And this that you can't have things sticking out from your kaimitz, you can't have an extra, is also learned from bekumtzei. It's got to be inside the fist. So that's the same. Those are they have the same source. Okay, now v'i ifshlan demaisinan lechafina drasha debekumtze b'gzeira shava kilu ksiv b'chafnav tzravayim ifshtu minei. So if I'm going to learn the gzeira shava, then I will learn both of them from the kaimitz, and they will both be aser. Okay, so Rav Papa, what was Rav Papa Shaila? Rav Papa hachim yibai elai belay gzeira shava demali mali ikala mibai laha. Without the gzeira shava, there's a shaila like this. Inami loimaisi b'chafnav l'gabe chafina. Even if I don't learn the gzeira shava l'gabe chafina, aval ahida le'el lasis mida lechafina lekala mibai ela migzeira shava. Now, this that you can use to make a measurement for chafina, so lekala mibai ela migzeira shava. Demil v'lakach Lo yishamin and shlayas amida lekaimitz. The lakicha, the davracher shma lakicha. I'm looking for 1 second. I knew someone explained it. Let's take a look at the faces. There's a pirish imtim slimer. If you'll say the gabi kaimitz Pasol mishum dechsev v'kamatz ha'koyin. If by kamitza beinei beinim is pasol, because it says v'kamatz ha'koyin v'lei beinei beinim the lav koyin kamitz el mamela ayil. You see, what's the issue with the beinei beinim between your fingers? That's not something you were kamitz like bekavana. You didn't put that in your hand bekavana. The lav koyin kamitz el mamela ayil. It just got in there by itself. But by chafina, like siv. V'lakach malei chafnav, ela malei chafnav. Demashem afilu ba memela l'teich chafnav. Dekra v'lakach gabi gachalim ksiv. See, the pasuk says v'lakach malei hamach tegach le'esh mal mizbech. You have to take a shovel full of coals, and then it says malei chafnav keter samim daka v'hemi beis lakapareches. So do we say like this? If the velakach is going on both the coals and the keteris, so then you have to do a ma'aseh lakicha on whatever keteris you're bringing. Anything that's bein abeinim is not considered a ma'aseh lakicha. You didn't actually take that. That just ended up there. So that'll be no good. But if velakach is only going on the coals and not on the keteris, the malei chavnav is vehevi, you're just bringing it, so then it's even anything that comes along with the ride will be good as well. That's the shaila of Rav Papa. Rav Papa hachi baile malei chavnav vehevi beinan v'ha'ika you have Mali Chavna Vehevi, it's coming along, or Dilma Velakach Vehevi Binan, you need to take it. Velaka, you don't have a Maisa Lakicha on the Keteris as Beina Beinim. Teku, the Gemara blives with a Sheila. Amar Papa, Pshitali Malai Kumtsai Kidakamtsi Inshi. Bai. The kaimitz that you needs to be Kidakamtsi Inshi like people do. Bai Papa had the following Sheila. And what does that mean, Kidakamtsi Inshi? That means you put your hand down like this, and you fold it over, and that's your kaimitz. Okay? It goes on like that. Rav Papa has the following Sheila. Kamat berashi etzbaisav. If you went like this, with your hand down, and then you picked it up like that. Or melmata lamala. Melmata lamala. So, I don't know if it means you went in like that, or I think that's what it means. Mao or minat stadin. If you put your hand down, you like shook it inside, like you moved it down, and it can't, as you're moving it this way, the keteris is coming onto your hand. So, like a wiggle, you're putting your hand face up, your palms up, and pushing it down into the ground, and pushing it into the keteris. So Ma'u, what's the shayla? What's the halacha in those scenarios? Teku. So Amar Papa, Pshitali Mali Chavnav b'dekan ve'inshi. So Mali Chavnav is the way people would take it. So that's a scoopful. Also, you're scooping with two hands at the same time, only going in like that. So that's Mali Chavnav. By your Papa, Chafan Brashi, it's Baisav. If you did it palms down and you sort of grabbed it up. Mao or Milmata Lamala, if you dug it in. Or Menatzad, if you put your hands down into the Keteris. I'm sorry, before when we're talking about a kamesh, we're talking about the Seilas, the Mincha, and now when we're talking about Malichav, now we're talking about the Keteris. Or Chafan Bezu Ubezu, if you took a scoop with each hand and then you put them together, you're supposed to scoop your hands together. Mao, what's the Vikar Zalzah? Mao, Teku. Alright, that ends up with the Shaila, and we will continue with these Gavaldiga Shailas in Metz Hashem next time.